types of places that would be really concerning to people. We do want to get back out to Laura Haefeli, who is on the south side of Brentwood watching this intense firefight right now. Laura, what have you been seeing over the last 30 minutes or so?
So I'm standing off camera right now. My photographer Brian's going to zoom in to this red retardant. You just see a DC-10 just now dropping it onto these properties, onto this terrain. Again, this is really helpful for the firefight because this terrain is so inaccessible for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's steep, it's hard to get to. And second of all, obviously, it's at the center of this fire, making it a really dangerous place for these hand crews to be. So those red retardant drops, really helpful. Now, we've watched this fire. It's changed directions significantly. Just moments ago, this fire was coming down this ridge towards this property, but now what we're seeing is it's going back up. That's a really good example of how unpredictable these fires can be and why it's important, if you're told to evacuate, to do so. Fire crews, law enforcement officials, just trying to keep you safe. It's important to heed those warnings and those evacuations. Now, where we are now is at the top of this canyon where there is plenty to burn. You're seeing all of this dry brush here that has yet to be affected by the fire, which is why we're seeing crews hanging out on roadways anticipating this fire if the wind decides to change directions. And again, you would think that that process is slow, right? That wind changes, the fire begins to move again in a different way, but that movement can be incredibly fast and unpredictable. Again, that is because of these high winds, and it's because of how much there is to burn. Now, these neighborhoods so far, these homes that we're looking at down in these canyons, excuse me, it's a little hard to breathe, down in these canyons are safe for now, which is great news for these homeowners. But again, these fire crews still keeping an eye on the area. I want to zoom in really quick to this home down here. It has some kind of pond of some kind. If CAL FIRE or any of the firefighting agencies decides it's necessary, they will dip into that tiny body of water with a bucket. They'll pull water out and they will use it to get rid of some of these flames. Easier said than done, but that is an option. And again, fire crews really considering everything here. There are a lot of resources. They're certainly spread thin across the area. We're here with CAL FIRE spokesperson Devin. We were just talking, Devin, about what happens this area getting a little bit quieter with the helicopters and the planes. Why is that?
Yeah, again, just to reiterate, our air resources are just so crucial. We just saw the DC-10 drop about 9,500 gallons of retardant all the way on the backside of Mandeville Canyon. It really just gives us a step up in the right direction to really make some improvement on these fires.
Can you give some insight into how these hand crews might be feeling right now, the ones who are down there in the thick of it?
Yeah, I can't say for certain. I don't think there's any specific hand crews, but there's definitely engine crews down there. We can see one back behind that larger residential structure, kind of where you can see it creeping down to it. But they also, like I said, they just got that retardant drop right behind them, so that really gives them, a leg up, a real fighting chance to defend properties.
How good does this red retardant work? Because again, we've seen these flames that we're looking at now sort of change directions several times. If it chooses to do so again and it runs in to that red retardant, what happens?
Yeah, retardant, definitely doesn't put a fire out. It's made to really slow the process. That's why we like to keep it as close to the homes as possible. So when the fire does eventually hit that point, we actually have, like I said, a fighting chance.
Yeah, so Devin, obviously, he's been firefighting for 10 years. Thank you for talking to us. This is a really tough battle. Guys like Devin, his teammates at CAL FIRE, all agencies across California doing what they can to get a handle on the Palisades Fire and the other fires burning in the area. Again, really important to pay attention to those evacuation orders. Laura Haefeli, KCAL News.
driving out there. I'm going to sound like your mother for a second. I've heard you cough a few times. You're in a very smoky area. I hope you and your crew can get a mask on and a little reprieve while you're out there with these fires.
Having a tough time hearing you guys.
Well, I'm wagging my finger at you if you can hear me to put a mask on. But the air quality is of concern throughout Southern California.